Let me guess, you plan to have a productive day, study a bit, get work done, maybe even squeeze in a workout. But somehow it's 9 p.m., you're stress eating cereal, answering emails on your phone, and watching productivity videos. While doing none of it, you're not lazy. You're just trapped in what I call the balance illusion. You try to balance everything, but it feels like juggling flaming swords while riding a unicycle on a tightrope, blindfolded. And here's the kicker: the more you try to keep everything perfectly balanced, the more you feel behind, burned out, and weirdly guilty during your breaks. So, what's really going on? Why does life work balance sound like a good idea but feel like a myth? And how do we fix it without becoming productivity robots? Let's break it down. You've probably heard this phrase 100 times. You just need better balance. But here's the truth: they make it sound like life is a neat little pie chart: 33% work, 33% life, 33% sleep. And somehow you're supposed to keep those slices perfectly symmetrical every day. Except life doesn't work like that. Some days your job demands everything. Other days your brain is fried from class and you just want to nap with your dog. And that's okay. The problem isn't that you're failing at balance. The problem is the idea of balance itself. It assumes you can split your energy evenly all the time across every role you play: student, employee, friend, sibling, human being. But you're not a spreadsheet. You're a person. What you actually need isn't balance, it's alignment. Alignment means knowing what matters most to you right now and giving that thing priority without guilt. It's about making peace with the idea that sometimes one area of life gets more love than the others. And that doesn't make you a failure, it makes you human. Balance says, do everything equally. Alignment says, do what matters right now. And that's a game changer. Ever feel like your brain is running 27 tabs at once and somehow still lagging? That's not just you being dramatic, that's real. Your brain, this squishy, wonderful miracle of evolution, was designed to help you survive in the wild. Hunt berries, avoid bears, maybe tell stories by firelight. It was not built to check Slack messages while replying to emails, while resisting the urge to Google, "Do penguins have knees?" again. Modern life bombards your brain with way more inputs than it was ever designed to handle. Notifications, group chats, deadlines, Zoom calls, and don't forget that one person who sends voice notes instead of text. Yeah, them too. Scientifically speaking, this leads to cognitive fatigue, a state where your brain's working memory gets overloaded, your decision-making tanks, and your motivation takes a nosedive. You might feel lazy, but you're not. You're just mentally overfed. It's like trying to play Tetris with pieces falling twice as fast and someone yelling, "Hurry up," from behind you. The result? You feel scattered, foggy, overwhelmed, and your ability to focus, plan, or even rest gets wrecked. That's why managing your life isn't just about tasks. It's about managing your brain space. And before you think you're broken, good news, you're not. There are real ways to fix this. And it starts by giving your brain what it actually needs instead of feeding it more chaos disguised as productivity. Your brain isn't equally powerful all day. It has prime time, and then it has potato time. According to neuroscience, most people have a natural 2 to 4 hour window each day when their brain is firing on all cylinders. For early birds, that might be 8 to 11 a.m. For night owls, maybe it's 7 to 10 p.m. You know your window. That's your golden zone. That's when your brain is most alert, creative, and focused. So, what do most people do with it? They waste it checking email, doing shallow tasks, multitasking, or falling into the YouTube rabbit hole titled Top 10 Fastest Sloths. But here's your first real weapon in the battle for balance. Protect your peak hours like you'd protect your last slice of pizza. Do your most meaningful work then. Study, write, problem solve, strategize. And here's the key: during your peak hours, say no to low return tasks. That means no cleaning out your inbox, no pointless meetings, no scrolling, just the deep stuff. Think of it like this: your brain shows up in a suit and tie ready to do its best work. And you ask it to answer a group chat about pineapple on pizza? Nah, Use your best energy for your best goals and watch how much easier life feels when your brain isn't constantly running uphill on low battery. Your brain doesn't have a switch labeled work mode on. It's more like a browser with 37 tabs open, constantly jumping between to-do lists, unfinished convos, and what's for dinner. That's why the whole just separate work and life advice doesn't really work. So instead of building walls between work and life, which usually crumble, try this. Create zones. Zones are signals, physical, environmental, or ritual-based, that tell your brain what mode it's in. For example, light a specific candle only when studying. Use a different playlist for deep work versus workouts. Have one hoodie that's your focus uniform. Work at the table, relax on the couch, never mix them. This taps into context-dependent memory. Your brain starts to associate specific environments or cues with specific tasks. Like how you feel sleepy just walking into your bedroom? Same principle. The goal isn't to divide your life into strict boxes. It's to guide your brain gently from one mode to another. When you're done studying, close the laptop and take a 3-minute walk. That's your end zone ritual. It signals, hey, we're done here. Let's shift. It's not about perfection, it's about transition. Because a brain that's always half working is never really resting. And burnout doesn't come from doing too much. It comes from never mentally logging off. Most people juggle their time like they're in a circus, blindfolded, on a unicycle, while answering emails. But what if you stopped juggling and started pouring into 3 buckets? Here's the deal. Every day, you have 3 mental buckets to fill. Bucket 1, must do. This is where the non-negotiables live. Classes, work deadlines, bills, feeding yourself so you don't turn into a hangry gremlin. Bucket 2, meaningful. Stuff that feeds your soul but gets pushed aside. Reading, journaling, creating. Quality time, learning something new just because you want to. Bucket 3, maintenance. Laundry, dishes, replying to your aunt's 6-minute voice note. Boring but necessary. Here's the secret. You won't fill them evenly every day. That's normal. Some days your must-do bucket overflows. Others you finally get a full dose of meaningful time. The goal isn't balance, it's awareness. Because when you know what bucket you're pouring into, you stop feeling guilty for not doing it all. Didn't write today? That's okay. You crushed your exam prep. Didn't study much? Fine. You recharged with family and kept your brain from melting. Instead of chasing perfect balance, aim for intentional imbalance. Fill what needs filling, and check in weekly. Which bucket's been dry too long? Because burnout happens when all 3 buckets run empty, and you're still trying to pour. If this is making you nod along, hey, don't keep your future self waiting. Tap like, hit subscribe, and join the crew that's turning chaos into clarity, one stick figure at a time. Your brain is not a browser. It wasn't built to handle 23 tabs, 4 notifications, and a meeting while eating lunch. When you multitask, you're not doing multiple things at once. You're just switching really fast and doing all of them worse. Psychologists call it task switching cost. Every switch burns more mental energy, increases errors, and slows you down. Stanford researchers found that heavy multitaskers are less productive than those who focus on one thing at a time. Even worse, it trains your brain to crave distraction. So here's the move. Pick one task, close the rest, and go deep. Set a timer, shut down the noise. Give that one thing your full brain. It's not slower, it's surgical. And at the end of the day, you'll feel less like a scrambled egg and more like a champion omelet. Ever said yes to something and immediately regretted it? Yeah, that's the guilt trap. It sounds like, if I don't help, I'm selfish. If I rest, I'm lazy. If I say no, they'll think I don't care. But here's the truth. Every yes is a no to something else. Your sleep, your sanity, your spaghetti night. Burnout doesn't come from doing too little. It comes from doing too much of what doesn't align. Your energy is limited. Protect it like it's your phone battery at 3%. Start small. Say, I can't this time, but I hope it goes well. Or, that sounds great, I just don't have the bandwidth right now. You're not rude, you're responsible. Learning to say no without guilt is a superpower. It frees you up to say yes to the stuff that actually matters. Ever looked up from your phone and thought, wait, how is it 4 p.m. already? Yeah, that's a time leak. The problem isn't that you don't have time. It's that you don't see where it's going. Your brain is terrible at estimating time spent. What felt like a quick scroll was actually 47 minutes of doom scrolling and Googling. Can coffee cure existential dread? So here's your hack. Make time visible. Use tools like time blocking, Pomodoro timers, or even a sticky note on your desk that says, what am I doing right now? Sounds basic, but it yanks you out of autopilot. You can even try a simple time tracker app for a few days just to audit your real habits. Because once you see your time, you can steer it. And suddenly you're not confused about where your day went. You're the one driving it. You're not behind, you're just building. You're not late to some imaginary productivity race. You're laying bricks for a life that's actually yours. Every time you choose to protect your energy, say no to what drains you. Take a break without guilt. You're casting a vote for the person you're becoming. And hey, this version of you, the one who's trying, they're doing better than you think. Because life balance isn't about getting it perfect. It's about getting it aligned with your values, your energy, and your season of life. So next time your brain whispers, you're falling behind, tell it, I'm not behind. I'm building on purpose. Here's the truth. Balance isn't a final destination. It's a daily decision. You won't always get it right. Some days will be a beautiful mess. Other days, you'll crush it. But the point isn't perfection. It's progress. Because every hour you claim back, every boundary you draw, every intentional yes and powerful no, is you taking your life back from autopilot. So the question isn't, can you balance everything? The real question is, what kind of life are you willing to build? One choice at a time. You've got what it takes, not to do it all, but to do what matters.